Hello Libra, welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie and this is your March 2023 Tarotscope. In the description box below you will find all sorts of goodies to explore, including a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of the reading. I would like to remind you that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Let's jump in and see what March has in store for you. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Libra's theme for March 2023, please. Tell us about Libra's theme for, good Lord. Okay. Tell us about a truth. Thank you. Tell us, please, about a lie for Libra. A lie. Thank you. And finally, tell us about a lesson or a blessing. Thank you. Let's get some clarity for you. Tell us more, please, about Libra's theme for this month. Okay, thank you. Tell us more about a truth for Libra. Thank you. Tell us more, please, about a lie that Libra needs to be made aware of this month. And tell us more about a lie Libra needs to be made aware of this month, please. What is that? The energy all of a sudden feels very weird. When I'm talking about the lie here, getting clarity on the lie. Okay, I'm just going to pause because I feel like for some of you, there's some sort of deceiving yourself type of energy taking place where it's like a, I don't want to say like a half truth or something, but I feel like, no, that's not right. It feels like you know something isn't completely or fully true. Like you know that there's something in your experience that is a lie, but are avoiding it. Like you're pretending like you don't see it or pretending like it's not there. So that's why I feel like it's all of a sudden got really weird, because it's like it's a lie, but you know it's a lie. Okay? Tell us, yeah, yep. Okay, and then tell us more, please, about Libra. Thank you. Okay. Let's dive in. What is your theme for this month, Libra? Oh, okay, we flipped them over at the same time. There must be a reason for that. That's the first time that's happened. You do have here fire ant. Okay, so let's start there. It's on the top. So the fire ant, what's really interesting about the fire ant, and I don't know if you've ever watched like Naked and Afraid or anything like that, but when those individuals are in the jungle or in a space where there are like ants that fire ants, right, or they bite or whatever, it's like as soon as there's something in that territory, they like attack. You get what I'm saying? So I do feel like a theme for you this month is learning how to use your intuition and your discernment, and how do I word this, please, Lord? Come to this understanding that not everybody is out to get you. Not everybody is out to take advantage of you, be mean to you, do you harm, right? It's really fascinating to me. That's how it feels. It feels like there's something here that you may be learning. And maybe you've experienced a lot of, how would you say, injustices, perhaps, in your experience, where maybe you now have this kind of jaded way of looking at things, and your perception is off. And what I mean by that is maybe you think that everybody's out to get you, or that everybody is going to come in and be fake or harmful or whatever it is, and that's simply not the case. And I do feel like this is something showing up for you to deal with this month. Okay, you also have here the dragon, so we're going to talk about that before I dive into the book, which is something I've been doing for these spiritual cards. So the animal spirit deck is based on the alchemical symbols, or it has those connections. So you have earth, air, fire, water, and then spirit. With the spirit cards, I've been reading them for each sign because there's so much depth there, and it is about experiencing change and creating change. So I am going to read that. But before I do, I just want to share with you a little bit about this dragon energy and what I feel intuitively. So here's the thing. Oops, I just kicked the camera. Sorry, guys. With the dragon, I do feel, I'm actually funny. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie or not, but I'm being reminded of like The Hobbit. Like, I'm not sure which movie or if it's all of them. I can't remember right now because I'm totally not connected to my human self, if you will. But I feel like the dragon, where it's like I'm just coming to just blow fire at everybody, like everybody stay back, nobody get close, nobody nothing. And that's kind of what I'm feeling here, right? I'm actually being shown the scene, or a scene from, oh my goodness, one of the Hobbit movies, and I don't remember which one, but where there's a dragon and it's got its eye closed, and one of the characters is trying to be all sneaky, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's awake. There's its giant eye like staring. Um, and I feel like this is, I don't know how to explain it, you guys, but I feel like there's this kind of like paranoia almost of everybody's trying to steal my stuff, like steal my gold, steal my happy, steal my shine, steal, like it just feels like you feel like you're under constant attack, or need to be like on guard all the time. And I really feel like this is something that maybe you're learning to work through, to gain a better understanding of, or to release this month. Let's take a look before. Yeah, okay. Yep. So before we dive into the book and I talk more about this dragon energy from the author's interpretation, based on everything I've just said, look at your clarifier. You have karmic relationships here. It says Orion energy, polarity, soul, growth, conflict. Right? So like I was saying, I feel like this is something you're learning, right? This is something that you have the opportunity to understand, to come to a better understanding about within yourself, right? Like, why am I like this? Why do I feel like I'm going to be attacked, or that there's always some sort of conflict taking place, when in reality it's not, how do I word this? Like it's not, I don't want to like, I'm not trying to like invalidate what you feel, but what I'm saying is that maybe there's an underlying reason why you feel this way. For some of you, I feel like you feel this way because you don't trust yourself, and perhaps, oh, I can hear you already. Oh, I can feel the triggers already. But for some of you, I feel like you are maybe not completely honest with other people. And the reason why you feel like others are dishonest is because you yourself are not honest. Or, um, yeah, yeah. I mean, it feels like that. Okay, I'm just calling it like I see it. Like, that is really how it's coming through. It's coming through as like, maybe the reason why you see these things, or feel this way, is because you behave in that way, and so you expect others to do the same, which is often the case. Like, you will see this happen where people are super loving and super giving. They expect others to be super loving and giving because it's how they are, right? And when people aren't able to do that, it's so confusing. It's like, why can't you just be super loving? I don't understand. Because they're able to give so much. But there's also the flip side of that, right? You like, maybe you've heard of this kind of thing before, where people will say, oh, you're cheating on me, and like in reality they're projecting, right? So it's like, actually, that person that they pointed their finger at being um, isn't cheating at all, isn't being unfaithful at all, but they are projecting that out because they themselves have been unfaithful, and so they expect others to do the same to them, right? So I do feel like for some of you, there's a projection taking place here where you feel like people are out to get you, or you're always involved in this like conflicting energy or whatever, and it's like really you're just projecting that outward, which is creating drama for yourself. I want to lovingly say, right? Because again, that fire ant energy is like, oh, I have to attack because there's something here. It's like, but you don't though. You don't. Not everybody's out to get you. Not everybody, like, to be honest, and I'm going to say this with so much love, like, most people don't fucking care. They don't fucking care enough, right? Because they're busy living their own lives. They're busy doing their own shit, dealing with their own shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have the capacity, the energetic capacity, the emotional capacity, the mental capacity to worry about what the hell you're doing, right? So, I mean, I'm just saying, do what you want with it, right? If it's not yours, don't pick it up. But that is how this is coming across. Let's dive a little bit deeper into this dragon energy and talk about how this may be showing up for you as a theme. Look at that. I opened up almost exactly to the page. Like, we're just, right? See it? Dragon. Okay. Yeah. 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 Let's delve deeper. Okay, so dragon, seeing one's most true self and balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. This essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and to let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their agni or agni, I'm not sure how to say that, so I do apologize, is dim. The agni or agni, however it is said, is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. Okay, so there's also further information here around the dragon and the third chakra. I'm just going to go ahead and read that to you. It says, the subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center in the Manipura chakra. Manipura translates to the city of hidden gems, and behind its gates burns the fire of our transformation and digestion. Sages believe health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and outer dimensions. So what's really interesting about that, right, is if your ego is not in check, as it were, I do feel like you will likely not be able to see things clearly, right? You will be seeing things from a different perspective. And again, you know, like, for example, the dragon protecting its gold, its treasure, is like paranoid, right? At least that's how it's depicted to us in many films and TV and things like this. And that's how I'm seeing this. So, you know, you'll know what this is for you, but I definitely feel like there's this element here of needing to see clearly what is actually taking place. Okay. And that these things, whatever it is you're experiencing, whatever it is that's got you on edge, whatever it is that's got you feeling like people are out to get you, or you're always in a state of conflict, or things just don't seem to be going well within your relationships, there's something here that you're meant to be learning. And you can take that or not. Okay. It's completely up to you. But I do feel like it's a theme for you this month. And I want to lovingly encourage you, if you're able, to face these things and to deal with them, because we are moving into the Zodiac New Year come around the 20th of this month. And shortly after that, Pluto enters Aquarius, and there's all of this pressure that is building for us to deal with our stuff and to move through it. And I feel like for those who do not heed that warning, they may experience the future, like, the rest of 2023 and beyond. They may experience that from a very challenging space. But again, like, you don't have to pick that up. You don't have to take it. I'm just sharing what I feel to be true. I want to say that for some of you, for whatever reason, all of a sudden my heart started pounding super, super fast. I feel like some of you are not taking this information very well. And I want to say, like, I'm sending you so much love, and I'm holding space for you to be able to move through these things, to not be anxious about these things. Facing your fears, sure, can be very, very difficult. Facing conflict, remedying conflict, admitting if you're wrong, or maybe weren't being honest, or whatever it is not easy. Okay, but it's not impossible. And I feel like, yeah, I'm starting to calm down now. I feel like if you're able to confront these things, it's going to help to balance your life out. Okay? So, maybe check your ego a little bit. And if you're wrong, fix it. Whatever that looks like, right? Maybe that's forgiving yourself. Maybe it's, approaching the situation and finding a solution or a resolution. Whatever it is for you, you'll know. But I feel like it might be helpful to do that. Okay. Let's take a look at the truth. You have the oyster here, and basically what the oyster represents is essentially, within it is this beautiful glowing pearl, right? But it's encased within this hard shell. And so the truth of the matter is there's much more to you than what you're allowing yourself to access, right? There's this pearl, if you will, within you that wants to come out, that wants to be seen and experienced, but I feel like you're holding it closely, tightly, like you aren't letting people see it, which is interesting when we look at it from the perspective where we were talking about up here, right? Essentially, I have this treasure I'm not sharing with anybody. I'm going to be claws out. I'm going to be guarded. I'm going to bite or inflict pain or whatever. I need to be paranoid because I have this treasure that I don't want anyone else to have, right? Or I feel like if I open up, then I'm going to be hurt or damaged or taken advantage of, or somebody's going to steal something from me or use me in some way, shape, or form, right? And the truth of the matter is, it's like, okay, I see you, Libra. I get where you're coming from. And if you've experienced things in your life where maybe, they haven't been very pleasant, or you have trauma or wounding around how you've experienced relationships in the past, sure, I can see why your train of thought or why you would feel that way. But I want to lovingly say, like, the truth of it is you have something incredible to share with the world. And if you let out your truth, now think of this, okay? Think of this. The way that I'm being shown this is like a white pearl, okay? A white one. And for me, the white showing up for me is this symbol of purity and truth, which is interesting because that's what we're talking about, is truth here. And so I'm seeing this as like, if you hold truth in, right, and you put up the shell, then others can experience your truth, right? So you're not just like, you're not only are you withholding the truth from yourself, but you're also withholding truth from other people. Not only are you not allowing other people to see yourself, but you're not allowing you to see yourself either, right? So it's like a double-edged sword. You're not really doing yourself any favors by keeping yourself hidden, by not being truthful, by not being open, by not being honest, by tucking all of these things down and hiding them. Like, it's not helping anyone. What is going to help you to grow and expand and to experience life from a much different space is by being open, being honest, being truthful, letting people in, right? Letting yourself out as well. What is your clarifier here? The blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Yeah. Yeah. What's really interesting is like, um, oftentimes we're thrust into situations, especially when God is trying to kind of, hey, I need you to see this, right? Maybe you call it source, maybe you call it universe. It doesn't really matter to me. I call it God. But when God wants to move us to a space, oftentimes God will shake things up, right? Tower moments will happen, things will fall apart, especially if we're not willing to move on our own, right? And there are times when that happens and it will trigger an awakening, which can be difficult to traverse, because when that happens, oftentimes we're shown things about ourselves that maybe aren't so pleasant to swallow, that maybe aren't so pleasant to see, that maybe we want to clam up about, as it were, right? And I feel like the truth is here, this is not the time. The time is for you to be open to experiencing these things. Allow yourself to be activated, as it were. Allow yourself to integrate what is true, to integrate the truth, and to let yourself be changed by that experience. That's pretty deep. I want to look, what are the key words for the oyster? I'm just curious. Oh, and I need to move my foot because it's going to sleep. I do feel, let me just pause before we get there, because I do feel like with the oyster being that water symbol, and you having this blue energy here, with a flame at that, I feel like the truth of the matter is, I feel like you let your emotions fuel your experience, and your emotions are not always helpful. Sometimes we need to take a step back and really look at things, analyze things, comb through things, and really get a hold on, why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we reacting in the way we're reacting, right? Because that fire, which you have showing up, I mean, with the ant, the dragon, right? And now the flame, sometimes like that fire isn't helpful, right? Sometimes we need to step back, breathe, gain our bearings, get centered, and then approach something. But I do feel like some of it is really being able to look at ourselves and why we're feeling the way we're feeling. But if you're clammed up, if you have the shell around your truth and why you're doing what you're doing, that it's kind of like it's just really not going to serve you at all. You're just going to be sitting in these emotions and feeling them, and running yourself in circles, trying to figure out what that, like, not even trying to figure out what's going on, but just letting them run rampant, right? So let's take a look here. Where are you, oyster? Where are you? Right there. Okay. So it says here, patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this to you real quick. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. That's weird. I just felt like, okay, that was weird. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is, oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing and protecting their deepest desires and life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. When in balance, feels blessed, generous, and masterful. When out of balance, reluctant, gripping, and clams up. To bring it to balance, share something, right? So again, like I said, the truth, like the truth is, the truth wants to come out. That's the truth, right? Take it however you want. So let's look at a lie that needs to come forward. Okay. That's an interesting one. So you do have another fire energy showing up here for you in this lie position. So this is a lie that basically needs to come out for the month, right? This is something that needs to be brought to the surface in order to help you to grow, to move forward, to expand. And with the Panther energy, it is that energy of like annihilation. So I do feel like one of, how do I word this? There may be things that need to be allowed to be annihilated. So, it needs to be allowed to be destroyed, to be brought down to, for example, if this was like a building, right? Very similar to like a tower type of energy in the tarot, it needs to be allowed to crumble. It needs to be allowed to fall apart. And for some reason, I feel like there is something that maybe needs to be allowed to do that, and maybe you're telling yourself that's not true. Maybe that resonates with some. I just want to look at the keywords real quick. It's the only part I want. I feel like I need another layer because it's been a while since I've been in this deck. Let's take a look here. What is it? Where are you, guy? Give me a sec. I apologize. These are not in any kind of like alphabetical order, so it's just kind of like scrolling through. I feel like there's fear coming up for you here. I feel like you're worried about what I'm going to read. Yeah, so it says here, annihilation of the unnecessary and purging. And what's interesting is that when this energy is out of balance, it's self-destructive, it's sabotaging, right? So I do feel like, I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm going to be just 100 with you right now, Libra. I feel like there's something where, again, you feel like the world is out to get you, people are out to get you, you feel like you need to be paranoid or worried or whatever it is. And I feel like it's because they're like, how do I word this? There are things that that you are doing that are not conducive, right? And I feel like the thing, that behavior being projected, or that truth that you hold within, right? That you're not giving up, as it were. I feel like you're projecting out into other people, and that's self-destructive, right? Because what are you doing then? You're sabotaging relationships, you're sabotaging connections, right? You're essentially like, I don't even know how to word it, because it's like the world's out to get me, so now I'm gonna hide, or I'm gonna go. Maybe you go and like tell people like, this person did that, and this person did this, and this person did this, but it's like, okay, but are you acknowledging your own shit? Are you acknowledging where you've been destructive, where you've made choices that maybe haven't been the best for you, or taking responsibility for your own stuff, right? That's really how I'm getting this. And I feel like that's the lie. Like maybe the lie is, oh, this fell apart, or this didn't work, or this didn't work, or this was shit, or whatever it is, because of this person or that thing or whatever. And it's like, but okay, but have you, but like, what was your part in it though? Right? And I feel like the lie is you're completely avoiding how you influenced those situations, whatever they were. Right? And here's the thing, like when you're holding on to stuff and you're not being honest with yourself and with others, again, like I was saying, like you will project that out onto other people. Because here's why. You're going to be like, well, wait a minute, why would I do that? Well, sometimes you don't even know you're fucking doing it. You don't even know you're doing it. But you have, like, it's almost like the body has to do it because it takes so much energy to be dishonest. It takes so much energy. Whether you're being dishonest to other people or yourself, it doesn't matter. It takes so much energy that you have to rid yourself of it somehow, right? Like you have to, like, oh, because it's like this relief, right? It's so heavy. Carrying that stuff is so heavy, and you have to be able to get it out somehow. So you project on other people, whether it's conscious or subconscious. What do you have here to clarify? I remember the soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life, right? So, I mean, here's the thing. Again, I'm just going to read to you because I think it's important. Um, the soul plan, or what it means, the fated life, and what the destiny life means, like what's the difference between the two, so that you have a better understanding. And I pretty much opened up the page exactly, which is wild. But you have here, so it says, okay, the fated life is one where we're born, is the one we're born into. The destiny life is the one our soul chooses, and it takes courage and faith. Okay, let me just back up even a little further, because I feel like this is something that maybe you need to hear. And remember, we're looking at what is a lie that needs to come out in order for you to grow and expand, okay? So it says, we live in a world of free will, and therefore, these moments become our destiny only through saying yes. So we choose it, is what I'm getting at, okay? The fated life is the one we're born into. The destiny life is the one our soul chooses, and it takes courage and faith. If you pull this card, it's because you're likely now face to face with the choice to follow the destiny life over the fated life. Okay? And I feel like I feel that this here is like, how do I word this? And I'm going to try to put this as delicately as possible. I've learned through my own experiences and personal development and all sorts of research that I've done on human behavior and spirituality and even God, Jesus, okay? And what I've learned is that you can call it karma, you can call it consciousness patterns, you can call it whatever you want. I don't really care. But what you put out into the world, into the universe, into the cosmos, what you think, how you act, what you say, and what you feel, right? Whatever you're putting out, that comes back to you. Okay? So you create this karma, some may call it, right? In this book that I've read most of, I haven't read it all yet, because it's a lot to digest. But in this book that I've read, Christ Returns, which is by an anonymous author, if you want to search for it yourself, the Christ who in that book is reported to be channeled through this individual says that whatever you put out, you create a consciousness pattern, it will find its way back to you. You cannot avoid it. No man can avoid it. Okay? Or woman, whatever you are, whatever you identify with. It cannot be avoided. That being said, that is like the fated life. That's kind of how that's how I'm picking up on this right now. That's the thread that's coming through for me intuitively for you, Libra. And I feel like you have an opportunity to acknowledge what karma you've created, to purge yourself of those things, right? To face those things, to be honest, to be truthful, right? You have an opportunity to choose to align more with your soul plan by, if you will, remedying what you've created, right? And I feel like you annihilate it by essentially, if you are like a follower of Jesus, by kind of like repenting, right? To remedy it, like be honest, tell the truth, like find forgiveness for yourself, allow, someone else to decide if they're going to forgive you for whatever it is or not, right? Because here's the thing, when you keep things secret, you are essentially you're kind of like messing with free will a little bit, right? Because what you're doing is you're trying to control the variables. You're not allowing somebody to choose for themselves what it is they would like to do, right? So you're like, oh, I'm going to keep this over here because I don't want them to know that this has taken place. And so they're just going about their life thinking that you're, that never happened or whatever it is, that there's truth here. or whatever. And so, they aren't allowed to make a decision with all of the facts. So in my mind, and again, you don't have to pick this up. You got free will too. Make your choices. That's perfectly fine. It's not going to affect my life. Um, you know, but I feel like it's like prevent somebody from making a decision with all of the facts if you don't tell them. And I feel like that's it's just not good juju. So do with that what you will, but I feel like that's, I don't know. Let's take a look at your lesson or blessing, how this is showing up for you this month. So you do have here the bear, which is an earthy energy. So I do feel like could be an opportunity for you to get grounded, to become, right, because it's again like an earth energy. So I feel like it's an opportunity for you to get grounded. And here's what's interesting about earth energy. It is this kind of responsible type of energy, right? Even if you look in the tarot, um, so for example, like the Knight of Pentacles, which is an earth sign, is someone who's going to work hard and take responsibility, right? So it's like, I see where I fucked up. I see where I may have, need to change some things or put in work or whatever. That's how it's coming across, at least right now for me. And I feel like you're being given that opportunity, and it can be a blessing if you let it, right? Of course, that's a choice that you're going to make. I'm going to check the book because again, like I shared, I have not been in this deck for such a long time. But yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to read this to you really quickly. We have a lesson or blessing: waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles. But you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. So it does say here, when in balance, inner strength, yearning to grow. When out of balance, withdrawal, lethargy, yeah, I think that's how you say it. Lethargy, yeah. I'm not, but cannot connect with my human right now, but heaviness. To bring into balance, movement and exercise. So I really feel here this is about a new beginning for you, right? Getting grounded in a new beginning, taking and initiating those steps, though they're uncomfortable, though they're maybe unpleasant at first, right? Though there may be obstacles that come with that, right? And I do feel like this is a double coin or a double-sided coin, right? Like there are lessons to be gained here through this experience, but I feel like it leads to a blessing, right? It leads to a new beginning. It leads to a different way of being, which I'm sharing anyways, in regards to, if you allow yourself to be seen and allow truths to come out and be honest with yourself, then it can create a new beginning, because you're not going to be running around paranoid, right? You're not going to be running around like, is everybody out to get me? That kind of energy, or people keeping secrets, right? What else do we have here? The Scorpion. So more fire. You have so much fire energy here. I mean, you got a little bit of everything, really. So I do feel like there's a need here for you to find balance, which, like, surprise, surprise, Libra, you're the scales. So let's be real. I feel like one of your challenges often is about finding balance and harmony and maintaining it. So I don't really feel like it's that much of a surprise, if you will, to see all of the elements out. But with the Scorpion and fire energy again, right? Like, I feel like there's a big lesson to learn here about that stinging, right? It's like things get too close. Again, similar to that fire ant energy, right? And like, getting like things getting too close and being on guard and like ready to sting. Um, where is it? I just want to see the words, just the words. There's the key words here. Where are you? Okay, it says passionate, competitive tends toward isolation. And when out of balance is really interesting. It's jealous, resentful, and unresolved. To bring into balance honesty and forgiveness, right? So again, I do feel that there's something here where you're focused on things from your past that are still that have shown up in your experience over and over and over again. Um, and again, maybe this is where maybe there's been some dishonesty perhaps. And I feel like you can provide yourself with a new beginning if you're able to be honest. And that's part of the lesson. I feel like you will realize how less stingy life is when you move from that space. When you decide, I'm going to turn over a new leaf, right? When you decide to step into your truth, whatever that is, right? And I'm not even saying that you're being dishonest to be vindictive or deceitful to people, to like be mean or inflict pain, right? Like maybe you're just not being honest with yourself and you're just causing yourself this pain over and over again. But I do feel, because there's karmic relationships here, that there are people listening who have been dishonest to others and who often look out at the world and wait to be hurt or wait to be taken advantage of or wait to be lied to. And that's because you're projecting, because you have yourself done it or are doing it still. So I feel like it's coming back into balance and honoring that truth that Libra so desires, right? And I mean, it's the scales. Let's be honest here. Okay, let's be honest here. And not only that, but in the tarot, Libra is represented by justice, which honors truth, right? Let's take a look at the clarifiers for you here. You have child of the cosmos. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. So I feel like to some degree you know this. And how do I word? I feel like if you tap into that, right, as part of this kind of new beginning, and trust your intuition. I'm not talking about your ego, because your ego is going to try to bite everybody's heads off. It's going to try to keep everybody at bay, right? Push everybody back. I'm talking about your intuition, okay? I'm talking about what is actually true for you. I feel like you are able to tap into that if you let yourself. And I think that's something that maybe is part here about waking up from that slumber with that bear energy, right? It's like, oh, actually I do know, right? Like actually I do know the things, like I just need to be able to acknowledge them, okay? Or remember, or be awoken, or yeah, awoken to it. You also have your whale and orca elders. Share your song. Yeah, your truth, right? What is deep within? Frequency of sound, diving deep. Yeah. So this new beginning is going to take you diving deep. It is going to take you digging through and experiencing things that maybe aren't so pleasant, right? With that Scorpion energy, being honest, again, diving deep. But I feel like it's going to allow you this new opportunity. What I also find fascinating is you have the oyster, which talks about sharing those treasures that you hold within. And then you have this whale or orca energy talking about sharing your song. So I do feel like a big part of this lesson or blessing for you is to open up to the truth of who you are and to share who you truly are with others. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how many people appreciate you in your most honest form. You also have here double mission, lightworker, starseed, serve the world by being you. Yeah, like I was saying, right? I feel like part of the blessing or lesson here is to say, oh, people actually do just like me for me, right? People aren't just trying to take advantage of me. People aren't just going to lie to me and try to tell me stories and try to stroke my ego and make me, believe something that's not true. Like, oh no, people actually do like me. But here's the thing, Libra, you're not going to find that out if you're not ever being yourself, if you're not ever being fully 100,000% pure and honest. You will not learn if people actually like you for you if you're not being you. Okay? You also have here, you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, and community. Yeah, right. I feel like if you allow, again, right? If you allow yourself to open up, I feel like you will see you're not alone. There are people, like I said, who actually will like you. But you have to be willing to be honest. You have to be willing to put yourself out there as you are, to create truthful, honest connections. Because I'm telling you, if I've learned anything over the past couple of years, it is that we are on this fast track to, and not even on the fast track, like we're in this space where people want honesty, they want truth, they are seeking it, and we're getting more and more in touch with our intuition. And so anytime you're being dishonest, people can feel it, and it will repel them immediately, especially those who are empathic or in touch with their intuition, because there's no way God's going to let them hang around with somebody who's not being truthful. Take that as it resonates with you, but I feel like this month has an opportunity here for you, Libra, to really truly grow and to discover who you truly are, and to realize that people will love you for you if you let them. So I hope something here has been helpful for you, valuable for you, or resonated for you in some way, shape, or form for the month of March. If it has, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting below, or smashing that subscribe button. It really does help the channel to grow, and I truly do appreciate your time and energy. I hope you have a powerful, expansive, and truthful month. I hope that you are able to discover and see how much people really, truly do value you when you are being your most authentic self. And I pray that that empowers you to continue doing it more and more and more until you find that you love being in that space. I'm sending you so much love, the biggest of hugs. Have a beautiful month. Take care of your incredible soul. Peace be with you, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.